Hey, I just wanted to post here since this situation is kind of odd and I think I need some advice. About 3.5 years ago, I started drawing what I would consider semi professionally. About 3.5 years ago, I started drawing what I would consider semi professionally. Just doing little commissions here and there, and mostly for family and friends during events and whatnot. All that to say, I'm not exactly the greatest artist of all time. In fact, I have very little traditional training like classes, and I just watched YouTube videos until I got to a point where I could pass as good as someone who can't draw, you know? That's what makes this all the more odd. So let's go back about 8 months. I just went to my sister's wedding, and she wanted me to do one of those live paintings, and I, of course, obliged. My family was super tight knit, and we knew just about all 150 people there somehow. As I'm painting this thing, though, while the party is going on, a man walked up to me and commented on how well I can paint. I figured this guy was just being nice, and I turned to thank him. But as soon as I looked at him, I swear he was out of a movie. This guy had a chiseled jawline, blue eyes like sapphires, and almost a jokingly well-groomed mustache that had those little twists at the end. He also wore this amazing white suit, and his smile was blinding. But I know I'd never seen this man before in my life. I did thank him, and here's where he asks me to draw him something. He wanted a woman. He wanted a woman, specifically a beautiful girl to be drawn for him, and that was it. A beautiful girl to be drawn. Apparently, it just needed to be a headshot, like a bust. I obliged and asked more, like what color hair, what kind of hair, what should the face look like, etc., etc. The guy said I shouldn't worry about the details and that it would come to me. I shrugged it off and accepted the work. Due to the nature of the party, a few more family members came up to me drunk, gushing about my painting. I talked with them for about a half hour, but when I turned to continue talking with the man, he was gone. And gone. I mean, he wasn't at the party, and nobody could even help me figure out who it was since no one else saw him. Let's fast forward a bit. Around a week later, I was thinking about it again, and I had the urge to do some work, so I sat down and wanted to draw this beautiful woman. I mean, the guy never gave me any information to contact him or payment, so this was more of an exercise, if anything, at this point. I remember the light spilling through my window from the mid-afternoon sun, and I swear when my pen hit the tablet, I can't remember anything else. Next thing I knew, it was late at night, almost 3 a.m, and I jumped back a bit at this realization. What in the world just happened? I looked at my tablet and there it was. The most beautiful, lifelike drawing I have ever seen in my life, and by far the best thing I have ever drawn. She had this light curly hair, a soft brown. Her eyes were just as blue as the man's at the party, and a slight Mediterranean tan that made them pop. She had thick lips and a smile that warmed my very spirit. I stared in awe for almost an hour until my drowsiness set in. I could feel myself slipping into sleep. And then she blinked. I I laughed it off, knowing I was probably exhausted, and turned off the tablet. The next morning, the drawing was gone from my files, and there was $3,000 in my bank account from a deposit made last night after I fell asleep. I spent weeks trying to find out more information, but I was fruitless. The bank shrugged, since the deposit was apparently from another country, and no amount from online tech forums or even the guys at Best Buy could figure out why one file disappeared, other than I forgot to save it. But I knew I did. That was my best work, and I wouldn't have just closed it without saving, you know? After my useless attempts at getting information, I sat down at a cafe on their outside patio and tried to get some inspiration. As I'm sitting there, scrolling through my other work, the scent of a deep lavender hit my nostrils, and a woman walked by just on the other side of the short fence. It was her. I swear it was her from my drawing, and as I stood up slowly to watch her walk away, she turned back and saw me. Her eyes went wide, and she hurriedly dipped behind the corner, and I was left dumbfounded. I plopped back down into my chair with my mind racing. I knew better than to just chase someone down a busy street, and I also knew better than to think it was my drawing come to life. I got an email later that day from an account that was unknown. Looked like one of those spam email lines, just random letters and numbers. The actual message itself just said, "Now I need a son. Great work last time." I knew who it was. I smiled and sat down, tablet ready, and that sun bleeding through my window panes again. I blinked, and it was 3 a.m. I wasn't surprised this time when there was a perfect little boy on my screen. Those eyes, dark skin, straight hair though. Dad's genes must have snuck in a win, since everything else looked like the woman I drew. Cheekbones, jawline, the hair color were all her. I scrambled a bit after staring in awe and snapped a picture on my phone and my camera. And when I sat back down, I felt that same exhausted feeling. I went to bed and all the photos were gone. The file was gone, and there were $3,000 added to my bank account. I come back to the cafe every day, waiting to see if they'll come by again, but so far nothing. I was hoping someone might know somewhere, since I've only hit dead ends myself. And I just got another email asking for a daughter. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. A quick shout out to my patrons: Old Penguin, Rinku Star, Melissa Perez, Icy Narrates, Seven Cities Journalist, Cupcake Hips, Eric Cifuentes, Alonso, Austin My Love, Ellie Hutmeyer, Jesse Hartley, Lawrence Wallen, Mr. Sankofa, and William Hartley. I always try to link a different charity in the description, so go ahead and check that out. I'm also going to start having more things on my Patreon soon, so keep your eyes peeled. And as always, I'd love to know how I can be praying for you, so go ahead and drop a comment and let me know how I can do that. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.